The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Talkin Cowboys. Streaming live from the Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star in Frisco.
First down. Handoff, Elliott plowing to the goal line. Barry, sacked by Moore. Prescott keeps it, and he bangs it in for the touchdown.
And now your hosts, Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, Rob Phillips, and Kyle Yeomans.
It is a TCT Talkin Cowboys Tuesday presented by Tostitos here from the Star in Frisco and the SWBC studios. Welcome in. Everybody's ready and fired up. There is a lot to get to over the next 60 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot to get to. When I was driving up to the facility, did you see the ginormous WWE belt right there on the front lawn?
You're darn right.
Freaking freak.
It is huge.
It's huge.
This is a busy week at the Star.
Dude.
How did I miss that?
I don't know, but we have to go take a picture. It's amazing. It is a belt the width of the field.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. I put it up.
It's phenomenal.
I have it on the screen if you guys want to look at it.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Look at that thing.
Look at that thing. Underneath the Ford Center like that?
I think that's Micah Parsons' belt.
Do you know how excited I got?
His belt.
I got so excited.
He wishes it was his belt.
That used to be my belt before Fat Rupsy.
Hey.
I got that thing down.
Good for you.
That's awesome.
What is that, like a 38-foot?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Our competition is officially over. At my facility, we have a U versus U competition.
I won anyway.
You won it?
You darn right.
I like it anyway.
I like it. We got some people in the facility, man, losing like 5, 6, 7% body fat.
They don't want no smoke, bro.
Okay.
They don't want the smoke.
Don't want the smoke. We'll talk a little bit more about WrestleMania coming up here in a little bit, but of course,
do that.
Presented by Tostitos, America's chip for America's team. We have got way too much to talk about. Free agency is around the corner. By the time we record next week, the legal tampering period will have already been open. We'll be getting into everything going on there. Today is the tag deadline, so there's been some transitions, some franchise tag talk thrown around the league, specifically when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. There's a certain tight end that looks like he's on his way to the franchise tag. It is done.
It's done.
Dalton Schultz, franchise tagged by the Dallas Cowboys. Rob, what are the details on that one?
$10.8 million for 1 year.
Boom.
Unless, and what they would rather do,
That's
I
a
would
mic
think,
toss.
is go ahead.
Look at the white shoes.
What are your thoughts?
Look at the white shoes.
Go ahead. Keep giving the number.
No, that was an Essilor bump right there on the
I want
mic.
Rob to go first.
That's what I said.
And then we'll get
all
to
the
you,
numbers.
I promise. What you said, unless...
The aggression.
Well, unless they get a long-term deal done with him before July 15th.
Yes.
So, and honestly, that would probably be ideal. If they want to keep him around long-term, they definitely want him for this year.
Could lower his tag number.
I mean, think of what they did with Dak last year. Dak's base salary after the deal he got, record $160 million, was like $2.5 million because you can just manipulate the cap and do all that. So you're talking about they want to create all this space. That would be ideal to do that. But I don't know if they would get something like that done before next week. But look, hey, it prevents them from like starting over at tight end right now because they've got a lot of problems or question marks at that position.
There's a ton of question marks. We're going to talk about it. But Isaiah, what is your reaction? Why the mic toss when tagging Dalton Schultz?
First of all, congrats to Schultz.
He earned it.
He worked his butt off. He was going
to get paid either way.
He was going to get paid either way. He put himself in position to make some money, and I'm an advocate for any player getting their money, right? Because I understand how brutal or how what's the word I can say?
Cutthroat?
Yeah, very cutthroat, very much so. This league can be. So congrats to you. On the other end of this, I personally don't believe he's dominant enough of a tight end to warrant this. I believe that this franchise tag is coming out of a necessity instead of more so of somebody that they really, really want because of their impact on the team and on the game. I truly believe that they are just like, we don't want to start over with the tight end. To your point, Jarwin has some injuries still again, and we need to solidify somebody that knows our system, that Dak can rely on, and that's dependable and can do all the things that we ask. Not necessarily franchise in the sense that you would typically see it, trying to secure a dominant player that you know is going to leave you.
You got more?
There's always more in the tank.
Yeah, because I feel like there's more coming.
There's more coming.
You cut yourself off prematurely right there.
I'm working on that.
All right, good deal.
I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to
Keep going.
No, you know what? The thing is, in the situation with Dalton Schultz, is he's playing musical chairs by himself right now in the tight end room.
That's
exactly.
There's no one else left. There's no one. I mean, and look, man, prayers up for my guy Jarwin. Blake Jarwin, who they don't know what the extent of this hip injury is or what it could be, but it does sound significant. It doesn't sound like he's going to be back at the start of the season. So what do you do when you need a tight end now? A lot of people want to go into free agency or even into the draft, and there are going to be a few tight ends to pick from. But will they be there? You don't know that. So I think the safe bet, even for the money, is to go Dalton Schultz. And let's go a step further, because I think we love to talk statistics when it works against the player, but what about when it works with the player? Top 3 in his position. So don't talk down on the man, because you can see there are those blaring weaknesses. Oh, Dalton Schultz can't block, but he can catch and run. That's what he can do. He can catch and run, and he's shown himself in 2020 and even 2021. He backdoored it with another solid performance. Come on. He got his money. He did it the way that all professional athletes,
absolutely,
how you point to it, you know the business, and you know this guy did what he had to do to obviously get franchise tag, get $10 million, but I'm sure the Dallas Cowboys are wanting to work towards a long-term deal.
Yeah. Does it make you feel any better, the fact that Blake Jarwin is such a big question mark? Because going into this offseason, I mean, we had this conversation. There was a chance that they gave the reins back over to what they thought was tight end 1 when they signed him, and that's Blake Jarwin. There was a chance they were going to give him the reins, say, hey, get back healthy. We want you to move forward. Thank you for everything you've done, Dalton. Go get your money. Go get it elsewhere. Go figure it out. Then, as soon as really the hip injury started coming out, things started surfacing with Blake Jarwin. Dalton Schultz became a much more impactful priority going into free agency. So they got him out of the way, got him done. And like Rob said, there's a chance that they sign a long-term deal. They can take that tag off, and then all of a sudden he's not playing on that money, and it's a lesser cap hit.
Correct.
There's ways to finagle that.
For sure.
But at the same time, I get your frustration, because you want to see other guys brought back. You want to see other guys signed, Amari Cooper, Tank Lawrence. We'll get to that in a moment as well. But Dalton Schultz is the name that you're stuck with, and it may have been a bigger necessity than you had originally thought.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is a necessity tag instead of a tag of somebody who is just like, oh, we just can't let that person go.
I don't know. I think they want to get a long-term deal done with him. Like I think they look at it like, and you can debate the distribution of passes in this offense, and we're going to get into Amari Cooper and his status, but I do think they look at it like he has emerged as a major trust option for Dak Prescott. Now is he an all-around tight end at this point? No, I don't think so. I think he's still. I think he's gotten better, but I think his biggest skill set is pass receiving, right?
Sure.
So you got to team him, I think, with another guy, and we'll see who it's going to be. Jeremy Sprinkle's a free agent. They need another blocking tight end, I think, in this group.
But I guess when I think about a franchise, and I agree, I totally agree with you. And again, I'm gonna keep coming back. I'm gonna keep coming back to the necessity word, right? I think this is a necessity tag, and it's to buy them time, right? Which is fully at their disposal. Understand it. Okay. When I think of franchise tag, I'm not thinking about your 4th, 5th, 6th best, most dangerous option on that side of the ball. That's not what I'm thinking. That's not what you think about when you think about somebody who's franchise tag. You think about somebody who is absolutely dominant, that when you face the opponent, they circle that person like, hey, you better not let
franchise.
you better not let that person get off, right? Yeah. Because they're getting paid the what? Average of the top 5 of their position? Is that what it is?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
And 10 point, it's the second lowest tag figure. So they're not
Understood.
putting a ton on him. Yeah. But what do you think? You think where is he as an all-around tight end in y'all's guys' opinion?
He's not up there for me.
See, I disagree.
Okay.
I think it's better than it was when he came in the league.
He's progressed.
I think
Travis Kelce,
okay,
George Kittle,
cool.
Hunter Henry, Rob Gronkowski.
He's better than Hunter Henry right now.
Dallas Goedert.
Better than Goddard.
Gesicki, Waller.
Kyle
better
Pitts.
than Gesicki. Waller got hurt. Better than Gesicki.
Zach Ertz.
Easy money. Look at the stats.
I'm not even looking at them. No.
I'm telling you. Look at the numbers.
I'm not a stats guy.
See what
Don't
you
do
do?
this.
That's what you
Don't do this.
No. Listen. Down the stretch, list the most consistent players on the Dallas Cowboys. List the most consistent guys.
I hear you. I get
But
you. I'm not
He's 100%
I'm not
listed.
going to disagree with you because
Dalton Schultz was the most consistent Cowboy down the stretch.
We can take that same argument and flip it on his head and say, what about Amari Cooper?
He wasn't
just because they chose not to throw him the ball. So I'm saying, but if you have a Gesicki and you have a Dalton Schultz, I'm taking Gesicki.
Wow.
He's more of a threat at that position in my eyes. He's somebody that I get the ball to and I say he's going to make a hell of a play. Not somebody that I can say, hey, run to this spot. There's a lot of guys I could do that with. And I'm not downplaying what Dalton Schultz's effect on this team is. The value is what he is to this team and this organization, which is high for this team. Absolutely.
It helps Dak
But that
Prescott,
doesn't make him a dominant player.
I'm not saying he's a dominant player. I'm saying he's better than Gesicki because he's not a dominant player either.
I feel like Gesicki's a threat. I would circle Gesicki as you better have your eye on that dude.
What you're saying is, by definition, when you get the franchise tag,
you are a beast.
You better be that dog.
You're a dog.
Okay? And no one is circling Dalton Schultz's name when they are getting ready to play the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely.
I think they should.
I do. When you face this offense, if you're a defensive coordinator and you're coming up against Dallas Cowboys, I just want you to be the coordinator. I want you to be Dan Quinn-ish.
That's fine.
Dan Quinn-ish.
Sure.
Okay? All right, you're Dan Quinn-ish today. I need you to be Dan Quinn-ish and step up. And you're watching.
It's hard to do.
And you're coming up against the Dallas Cowboys. I need you to circle the top 3 threats on their offense, on Dallas Cowboys offense.
We're talking about in 2022.
I'm talking about when you face the Dallas Cowboys,
So
based upon this current roster, right, that we just have, who are you circling as don't let them get off?
It would be CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper on this current roster. Dalton Schultz would be an easy third right there. Right now.
Here's the other.
Zeke's not in that conversation for me at the moment over those 3 guys. And the numbers tell
Healthy
you that
Zeke?
all the way through. That's different. Is he healthy?
He wasn't beginning of the year?
He definitely wasn't at the last 12 weeks of the
season. We talking about the beginning of the year. We talking about when the roster starts, when the season starts.
In 2022 then? Yeah. Well, then Amari Cooper probably isn't going to be on the roster, and then it's CeeDee Lamb and Dalton Schultz.
So old Dalty was 1 catch behind CeeDee Lamb for the team lead, 78, 808 yardage. Tied Amari with 8 touchdown catches for the team lead.
That's a threat.
And
that's a choice.
Touchdowns?
It's a choice.
It's a choice that they made 8 times successfully.
I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm saying there are
you're
more
downplaying
dominant.
how
I'm
good
not.
Dalton
I
Schultz
am
is
not. I'm saying that everybody on this team is a professional athlete.
Sure.
Right. And based upon the system, you can make a professional athlete more of a threat than you could in other systems. Based upon this system, right? Cordell Patterson, perfect example.
Great.
How much of a threat was he in the first half of his career?
Not much.
Not a
He
lot.
was negated to he was subject to just being a return man.
Right, yeah.
But you put him in the right system, now all of a sudden he's freaking dominant. You better have him on your roster in that system. In that system, right? Didn't mean that he wasn't capable of doing those things before. It just means that they put him in the proper situations, in the proper system, and utilize his gifts and talents. I think you could do that with any professional athlete depending on the system that they're in. Now, going back to Dan Quinn-ish, when you come up against the Dallas Cowboys of 2021, healthy Dallas Cowboys, week 1 against Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you are circling Amari Cooper, you're circling Dak Prescott, you're circling Ezekiel Elliott, you're circling Gallup, you're circling everybody. Dalton is not the top 3 dude that you're circling.
Here's where the disconnect is. You're naming premium positions. You're naming quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, even though, yes, there are the Mark Andrews, the Travis Kelce's, the Kyle Pitts, George Kittles of the world. There are those guys that are that top echelon. Dalton Schultz is right there on the back end of that. I'm not saying he's better than those guys, but he's a top 5, top 6, 7 player in the NFL at his position.
Whoa.
No. He 100% is.
The perception is not the reality, is what you both are arguing right here.
We both have valuable points.
You do. I mean,
but
you really
until
do.
he just said the top 6, top 7 tight end in the league.
He is. Name guys.
He is.
Well,
based off of the
statistics.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
The numbers with what they are.
It's not even just statistics.
Stop
The stats.
Stop this.
The stats
Stop
say he's
this
a
right
top,
now.
The stats say he's a top 5 guy. I'm not talking about just stats. I'm talking about consistency, red zone threat, and you know as well as I do, I was on his blocking ability and his motor all the way through the season. I was as critical as anybody with Dalton Schultz, and you remember that because we had conversations just like this negatively about Dalton Schultz. That doesn't devalue what he means to this team and how good he ranks compared to other guys in the NFL.
Here's the other side of it too, and we won't know the answer now because they've got his rights. But if they might have been concerned, they probably were concerned about him hitting the open market because
he would have been gone.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then if they were concerned about him getting more than $11 million a year.
I don't think so.
Well, you're not going to get it.
I guarantee you that was in their mind. We'll never know. But I guarantee you that was a concern.
But I can't stand behind this top 6 or 7 guys.
That's fine. That's a disagreement.
I hear the stats.
Is he the top tight end though? That's on the open market. Absolutely.
If all the tight ends were free agents right now, you're saying Dalton Schultz is a top 6 guy that you're grabbing?
Yes.
Based off his numbers.
Stop this, Heckman. Stop this, Heckman. Tampa Bay Buccaneers has 2 guys that you can go grab right now that I would choose before Dalton.
So your point is he's not a guy that you have. He's not a guy that you have to game plan for. That's basically what you're saying.
You wouldn't take O.J. Howard over Schultz?
But he's not getting paid $20 million a year. That's Amari Cooper money.
There you go.
Dalton Schultz is getting roughly half of that for one season.
You take Schultz over Howard?
Yes. Easy money. What has O.J. Howard done? What has he done?
It's not about what he's done. It's about what they're capable of.
It's 100% about what he's done.
No, man.
I don't know, man. I look at it like it's kind of like the going rate for a guy that's producing Pro Bowl-ish numbers.
Hey, get your money. Get your money. He is being utilized by the Dallas Cowboys the proper way. Absolutely. They are maximizing what they can get out of Dalton Schultz. Is he a premier tight end in this league? I can't stand on the mountain and say that. I can't. Is he valuable to the Dallas Cowboys? Absolutely.
Is he a second-tier tight end?
Second tier?
Second tier.
Second string tight end.
Not elite. I'm not throwing him with the Kittles, the Kelseys, the Andrews. Those guys, the
Gronkowskis and the.
I don't think Gronk's there anymore. I don't. He was 4 years ago, maybe 2 years ago.
I can't do this.
He wasn't. He's not there anymore.
You're done with the show today?
I can't do this.
Oh no, that's okay. No, come on.
It's just okay. It's okay. He's making his point. Go ahead.
But that's the thing. Okay, even if you wanted to throw Gronkowski in there, there's 4 of them there. 4 tight ends there. Is he that second tier? Is he that step down from those guys?
Yes.
He's right. He's right there.
Yes.
He's right there.
$10 million. $10 million franchise tag. And the highest paid, basically, what is it? You take the figure from the highest paid and
top 5 and average
top.
Together.
Yeah, there it is. And so look, it behooves the organization to get a long term.
And it's kind of like quarterback contracts that continue to go up. I mean, I'm looking at Travis Kelce's contract right now. He signed a 4-year, $57 million deal. That's an average of 14.3.
See, and that's not the type of money we're talking about here.
Well, it's getting close, but the contracts are just going to keep going up for this position.
Sure.
So I don't know. I don't really have that much of a problem with it because also, what other option do you have right now? Like, you're going to take a tight end in the first round?
No.
I've got enough other problems.
And I'm not saying that I have a problem with it. I'm just
sure.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
absolutely
it. I don't have a problem with
it.
it. I'm just saying that he's not a franchise tag-ish player, but they're doing it out of necessity. They're doing it out of necessity. There's
musical chairs. He's the last guy.
Absolutely. Hey, they're doing it out of necessity.
They got Sean McCune.
He's the last guy.
They got Ian Bunting on the practice squad. Yeah, Sprinkle can be back.
Oh, God.
You got to do it, or else you're trapped in free agency hell and also the draft. And if none of
you're
that
not going to be able
pans
to sign anybody. You wouldn't want to draft one of these guys. And I don't have a first-round grade on a tight end at all. And I honestly don't have a second-round grade on a tight end.
I hear
the back half.
I hear what you're saying, Isaiah. I do. I don't know if I'm listening. It's the listen thing with Jimmy. But I will say, like,
as you go through the rosters, of the league, and you look at the teams, most teams you can start. Even though his stats are up there, I get it. All right, he was very successful in this system. Even though he was successful, he's still not a guy that I'm worried about. He's not a guy I'm worried about. So as you go down the rosters of all these teams, most of these teams have a guy that you better keep your eye on.
Would you have less of a problem with it if you felt like Amari was going to be back? Like if because are you looking at it partly like, well, Amari's leaving, they're keeping Dalton Schultz, but Amari's that. I think if you combine those two things, it's like I don't know. But,
it's a necessity.
But I give him credit because he has made himself into a very good player. I mean, a 4th-round pick who. Frankly, his rookie training camp, I'm out there in Oxnard, and you could see he wasn't strong enough, point of attack guy, and he's gotten better in that regard, but he has emerged as a very trusted option for Dak, and that's important.
Yeah, very much so.
Makes things easier for Dak. He was extremely consistent all the way throughout. And honestly, anything we talk about throughout this entire offseason is most likely going to be frustrating. I mean, that's the fact of the matter of what this offseason is going to be. It's not all sunshine and rainbows in Frisco right now.
No way.
Not even a little bit. Dalton Schultz coming back.
I saw a unicorn.
Don't get me wrong.
Pegasus?
They already traded Kristaps out of the Mavericks. Unicorn's gone too.
Thank goodness.
So there's still plenty of things to keep on the table. Another thing that happened, talking about options, though, Dak Prescott, Zach Martin restructuring their contract, that frees up a significant amount of cap, doesn't it?
Yeah, about 15 for Dak, 7-ish for Zach.
So $22 million freed up,
roughly. Mm-hmm. So
we are paying a grip for our right guard.
You should be.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
I mean, if you just look around the league at what right guards are making, our right guard is, man, he is backing up the U-Haul.
Yeah, he should.
Well, yeah,
the Brinks truck.
We've shown that. He's shown that consistently throughout, though.
They obviously have a lot of faith in him. I think they've restructured his contract 3 straight years now. He's 31. I mean, he's getting on towards his mid-30s, and he's had some injuries, but, I mean, he's about as steady as any player in the National Football League.
So, absolutely.
And Todd Archer reported part of this is that they've added a couple voidable deals on it, that just cap massaging.
So
cap massaging.
Kicking the can down the road is kind of what's happening there.
They got some steel toes on.
When we come back on Talking Cowboys, why is kicking the can down the road not an option for guys like Amari Cooper, DeMarcus Lawrence, and what's going on with rumors surrounding those two guys and what could be happening over the next couple weeks? And we are also going to talk about some of the free agents around the league when we come back on Talking Cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. We're turning your living room into your office and your gym. We're teaching Grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with...
And I'm Jay Novacek, and we're both with...
United Ag and Turf, the official tractor provider of the Dallas Cowboys.
So, if you need a tractor to bale some hay, a mower to cut some grass, or a gator to get some chores done...
Get a John Deere at United Ag and Turf.
And then, let's get to work.
Hey, Jay, that's my line.
Well, not today.
Get to work with a John Deere tractor package that's just right for you and your budget. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Welcome back to Talking Cowboys, presented by Tostitos, America's chip for America's team. Your favorite WWE superstars return to AT&T Stadium. WrestleMania on Saturday, April 2nd and Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. Get your tickets to the most stupendous 2-night WrestleMania in history. Visit SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium.
Can I just say, if you were on the fence, and why would you be on the fence about ordering WrestleMania or going to see WrestleMania?
But what night do you go to? That's the hard part.
Hey, man.
Hey, hold on. I got a family of 5 now. Wait a minute.
They teased the Texas Rattlesnake last night.
Don't do this.
It. Kevin Owens called out Stone Cold last night, so we'll see.
What?
Not for a match, it didn't sound like, but for a special guest on the KO show.
How mad would you be if you went to Saturday night and then all the people that you wanted to see was on Sunday, and I would be livid.
Yeah, you got to buy both.
I looked up tickets. Ooh, anybody got the plug? I got a family of 5, so
I'll call Take. I'll call down.
Make it happen.
Take.
We'll see.
I love this.
Did you hear that?
I want it to happen so bad.
Take.
Take.
It's my guy.
Nicknames.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Welcome back to Talking Cowboys.
It's like I've interviewed Grant Hill twice on Thanksgiving, and now we're best friends too. That's just in my mind. That's in my mind.
You get free Sprite for life.
Rumors starting to swirl a little bit more. Wow. We've talked about it on this show, but it's continuing to get stronger and stronger, especially over the week in Indianapolis, that moves will be happening in some of those premium positions like wide receiver, edge rusher. No tag for Randy Gregory. DeMarcus Lawrence reports out there that he was asked to take a pay cut and ultimately declined. So there's question marks around his future with the team. Amari Cooper also rumored to be let go at some point. These are all rumors, by the way, nothing official at the moment. And then Michael Gallup rumored to be getting a deal done over the next couple of days. So, Rob, where does that leave you in terms of this Cowboys offseason? Doesn't seem like it's in I mean, outside of the Schultz deal and maybe getting Michael Gallup back, it's kind of a bad offseason right now.
We tried to warn everybody. We tried.
We did
what we could.
Last few weeks that they have a lot of tough decisions to make because of the cap. And by the way, you and Dave did a great job up there. I'm sorry I couldn't join you.
Yeah, we missed you up there.
But yeah, I mean, look, for Tank, Stephen Jones was asked the question up there. He was asked about Tank and Amari, and he didn't want to speak specifically to those guys. He said it was too early to say.
Committed to the non-comment.
Yes, he said it's too early to say about Amari's status for this season. Obviously, that's it's on the table that he's not going to be back. I think you would say that about Tank as well. He said, look, with big contracts, you have to look at is the value there. We've discussed that, right? I think with Tank. He's making, I think, $19 million set for this season. You have to look at that value. And it doesn't mean he's not a very, very good player and doesn't add something. But you've got to make the numbers work.
Yeah.
And that's really what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to for Amari as well. And if there was a precursor to Amari, if he's not back, there was foreshadowing for that last year because we've talked about restructures at the end of the last segment. They did not touch his contract. They decided, look, we're going to keep it the way it is. They restructured other guys. I think 3 offensive linemen. Maybe that was a couple years ago. Not Amari's. And so it makes for a cleaner cut if that's what they want to do this offseason.
Is that why they're not kicking the can down the road with Amari? Because, I mean, that's a question that I've been asked is if they can do it with Zach Martin, if they can do it with Dak Prescott, why is Amari not on that top of the list of trying to move it down the road? Is it just a lesser of the evils at the moment in terms of just trying to pick and choose?
I don't think it's as simple as, well, he's not worth. I mean, nobody can say they're better without him next season. Agreed. But again, tough contract decisions. You have to, in the salary cap era, you got to look at it like, can we pay all 3 guys eventually? CeeDee Lamb's eventually going to get his money. So do you have to look at it long term? I think so. I think you have to look at it long term and say, we can't pay what we think are 2-1 receivers at some point. We're going to have to decide.
Would that
Maybe that's what they're trying to do right now.
That would overlap the last year of Amari's deal, right? When CD would probably start having those conversations.
Probably.
Now, he's under contract until after Amari's contract is done.
3 more years if you give him the 5th year.
Yeah. So I'm assuming with that 5th year option, somewhere around there is when you're going to start talking about CeeDee Lamb's contract. So there's a chance there for overlap. So that makes sense on why maybe they don't want to kick that salary cap hit all the way down there. But, I mean, it's frustrating because either way, like Rob said, you're not getting better without those 2 guys. I mean, plain and simple, you're probably not a better football team.
I think we said it last week when we had the show. I try to give everybody a heads up that they're going to point the finger at Amari Cooper and say that, you're not providing enough stats, and you're not providing enough on the field to justify your $20 million per year, even if we are the reason why you're not getting the ball. So you're going to say bye-bye to Amari Cooper most likely. And then we also talked about D-Law, how they were going to ask him. I try to tell everybody they're going to ask him to take a pay cut. What did I say? He's going to say, hell to the no. He said that. So, I mean, this is what happens. So now you're in a position where you may lose both guys because now you've already pissed off D-Law. And have you pissed him off? So now you're in a situation where it's like, can we even bring him back into the same environment with him now being aggravated? You have to turn your attention towards Randy Gregory. Well, obviously, he's not getting tagged. I don't think we thought that he was going to get tagged. But I think that they have to find a way to secure him as well. So it's unfortunate. I'm okay with them, losing D-Law. I'm not okay with them losing Coop. Yeah, that's just my stance. I understand that they both bring a lot of value, but I consider one to be a dominant player, and I consider one to be a really good player.
DeMarcus Lawrence, I mean, like you said, if he's a little disgruntled, if he's not happy with the ask for a restructure or where they lie right now, and he said in public, he said that he wants to be a Cowboy for life. But if they if they cut him pre-June 1, you're still only saving $8 million. And if both with him and Amari, you're under the cap. If you cut him post-June 1, then you're saving a lot more money. Ultimately, I think you're saving close to $20 million, almost $19 million, I believe is what it is. And you're $11 million under the cap at that point. So is it a waiting game? Are we going to see this soon? Because don't you have to get under that cap number within a certain amount of weeks from where we are right now?
You got to get under the cap by next Wednesday.
Yeah. So
start of the new league year.
So it's got to happen before then, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happens here because I think it's tied. Isaiah kind of hit on it. I think it's tied to, is Randy Gregory back? Because I've been saying Cedric Wilson is a guy at the receiver position where I think we might be like, whoa, look at this deal he's getting from somebody else and he's gone. Dorrance Armstrong could be in the same boat next week, like from another team. So where's your defensive end depth chart right now? And do you need Tank? I don't think they're better without him, but I just don't know financially can they make it work.
What I want to offer up to this whole argument about Amari Cooper is, do you think that the Dallas Cowboys will ever have a top 5 paid wide receiver in Kellen Moore's offense? Kellen Moore is, and I've alluded and teased this quite a bit, that he is a guy or offensive coordinator that strikes me as a guy that believes in his system, that calls plays for the system and not for players. And that's what is maddening in this situation when you start asking yourself, well, how are you better when you get rid of or you cut a supposed number 1 receiver? Well, if the plays are not designed to go your way and if you don't take advantage of the scheme that the defense is playing to get your lead dog the ball, then why the hell am I going to continue to play guys that come here $20 million? And that's why I asked when you said that about CD getting his deal, will he? Because I think what the Cowboys front office is looking at is like, why would we pay you $20 million when in the grand scheme of things, this is the actual guy that fell in our lap that can be our number 1 receiver, and we can surround him with the talent that we need. I think the Cedric Wilsons of the world, those kinds of wide receivers, and people are going to kill me for this, but I'm telling you, in this offense, you would feel a lot better with Cedric Wilson getting 860 whatever yards as it would be Amari Cooper getting 860 yards on a $20 million contract. And I believe that's where we're going in this offense.
That's a good point. And you know what? You can also ask the question, like, why did they make this Amari deal in the first place? Because it was 2 years ago he signed the deal, right? Kellen Moore was
You didn't know you was going to have CD.
That's true. That's true. But I mean, Kellen Moore became the OC that year, and so I don't know, man.
It kind of reminds me. I'm getting flashbacks to the Rod Marinelli days on the defensive side of the football, where it's like our scheme is where we are. Our scheme is what we're going to put our players in the right spot because our scheme is this way. Now you look at what Dan Quinn has done. Part of the reason why the defense has had a turnaround is because he's fit the players he's fit the scheme to the players. He's fit Micah Parsons, or he's drawn up things for Micah Parsons to let him be successful rather than put Micah Parsons in what he thinks would be what he wants to do ultimately. And that's where Kellen Moore is, trying to figure out where these players are, and if Amari Cooper doesn't fit there, then you're getting rid of a really good player just for a bit of pride.
That's what's maddening, is that everyone that knows Amari Cooper's reputation around the league says, why the hell aren't y'all throwing the ball to him on third? And everybody knows you need a reception. You're down in the red zone. Why don't you throw it to the best option that you have? And they're going away from that, maybe throwing something out to a running back out of the backfield or to your tight end. Yeah. It doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but Kellen Moore doesn't call plays that way. Not the way that you look around. Like, look at Cooper Kupp, right? Cooper Kupp in McVay's offense, what does McVay do? He calls plays for Cooper Kupp. I'm going to put you in the slot.
You don't say.
Not just during the season. When the whole thing was on the line. One last drive to win the Super Bowl. Huh?
You knew who's getting the ball.
They knew.
Everybody knew. The lady selling popcorn.
It doesn't matter if you know who's getting the ball.
You can't stop it.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. So,
they're going to be sick. Listen here. They are going to be sick to their stomachs if they allow Amari Cooper to walk, which most likely he's going to moonwalk up out of here because there's going to be a young dude who just re-upped over in the Green Bay pastures who's going to say, I need a number 2.
Right.
And they're going to grab it.
They have no money.
All right.
They have no money. He won't end up in Green Bay.
All right.
I'm going to shoot that down beforehand because that's not happening.
Okay.
Here's the other side of this, though, too, which is, the way
Amari Cooper has
I see what you're trying to do.
Hey, put it like this. He has enough
right.
money in the pocket where he's not going to go out to the next team and ask for the
He's
same
not going
amount.
to take the league minimum either, though.
The way the deal for Amari was structured, it was almost like a 2-year deal. You know, the way it was structured because the way they could get out of it. And we'll see if they get out of it. But the other side of it, too, is in 2018, he's essentially your first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
So after a couple years now,
made the trade.
He's gone. So
And let's go back.
It would not be a good ending there.
And here's the other thing about Tank. Tank is getting paid $19 million. And if you're getting paid $19 million as an edge rusher, you're going to have double-digit sacks. He hadn't had double-digit sacks for the Cowboys. And
his cap hit's even bigger than that. His cap hit's 27.
So that's what I'm that kind of explains itself, and especially if you're not willing to take less money, which I'm with you, Tank. Get your money while you can get your money. But the organization has a stance on this as well. If you can go somewhere else and get more, then okay. You're not going to acquiesce to the pressure. Then you're okay. Then you got to go because I can get 3 guys to do what you're doing. And talking about Dan Quinn and what he realized. Look, I have a young bazooka that I can put all over the field, and I can also bleed in other players over here. I just think that in the NFL, the tide is changing on guys. You get your contract based off of your past production, but if you don't have that competitive edge after you get your contract, then you're going to be a casualty.
And that's an issue because I think that's one reason. It's a big reason why they don't sign outside free agents because they feel like they're paying for what guys used to do, and they don't have as much. They don't have any kind of built-in knowledge of the player. So that's why they try to re-sign their own guys. But what they're finding in these situations is they've re-signed these guys, and they're not getting the same value on the field that they thought they were getting. And that's a problem because that goes against the style of operation that you have with your money.
Yeah. I mean, you look at even just the comparisons. Closest contract comparison to DeMarcus Lawrence is Aaron Donald. And guess who gets paid more by a cap salary number, by a cap hit?
Lawrence?
DeMarcus Lawrence gets paid more than Aaron Donald in terms of a cap hit. So, and there's a problem with that, too. Aaron Donald probably needs to see a bump in his pay.
Just probably.
Just probably a little bit. But there's that conversation is if you're going to pay a guy and he's going to be a $27 million cap hit,
Jesus.
You need that production.
He better be a quarterback.
As good as DeMarcus Lawrence has been, and I'm not saying I like the idea of him not being on the Cowboys. Don't get me wrong here, but I understand the money side of things. If you're going to have to cut somewhere, that's probably where you're going to have to do it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a reality that you see the Cowboy fan base is completely divided on what to do here. But
that's why they call it a cap casualty, is because it's not a positive thing. It is a negative term for a reason because it's not fun. It's not where you need.
But none of these things make us better. We understand that. Nope. I mean, and you look over last season in Stephen Jones's interview in Indy, he says, "Look, but 12-5 by a lot of accounts is a successful season. We didn't get it done because we lost in the first round. How do you become better after you let these 2 players go? Well, you got to feel good about the guy that put the whole 2021 roster together. That was him, right? So, I mean, on one end you want to slap him, but then on the other end you're like, okay, you've made good decisions up until this point. I trust what you're going to do in 2022. I just don't think that people trust it when you start throwing around names like Cooper and Tank. Just saying.
Let's go and
bite you.
Yeah, it will. And Heckma just said that. I mean, he said it where we're not a better football team, but at some point you got to get under those numbers. When we come back on Talkin' Cowboys, we're going to run through the list of Cowboys free agents and give our confidence level that they will be back in Dallas. There's 22 names in 2022. One is already back. We'll talk about the rest of them when we come back right after this.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar, and a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere, and a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
At AT&T, everyone, new and existing customers, get our best deals on every smartphone. Why? Because you deserve it. For turning your living room into your office and your gym. For teaching grandma how to video call and teaching her again.
It's the button on your left, Nana. Okay, your other left.
It's not complicated. Everyone deserves something new. So AT&T is giving everyone, new and existing customers, our best deals with every unlimited plan on every smartphone, even the latest ones.
AT&T may temporarily slow data speeds if the network is busy. Restrictions and exceptions may apply.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way. Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
Back to Talkin' Cowboys.
Back here on Talking Cowboys, final segment here from the SWBC studios. And whether you're watching from home or you're cheering in the stands, with Essilor lenses, you can see every exciting play. Book an appointment at your local Essilor experts and see what Essilor can do for you. See more, do more, Essilor on Talking Cowboys. Isaiah, stand back with the mic flip. That was a happy mic flip. Thank goodness.
Yeah, just before that read, he looked like he was done. There's
a lot of frustration, man. The frustration. I see the frustration in the chats, too. I see y'all talking.
No, it's true. There's frustration everywhere. We're there with you, Cowboys.
They said that you're a crazy man in the chats. That's what they
said. You
said
O.J. Howard was better than Dalton Schultz.
Crazy man.
That's not the case.
I'll take O.J.
Yeah, no.
Howard.
I was about to say you may want to.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Sorry, killer.
As fun as this is,
what'd you say, Beam?
Beam goes, he's a killer. Oh, my God.
No, I'm talking to O.J. Howard.
Yeah,
man.
O.J. Howard.
Boy,
dude.
He kills defenses, bro.
Can we just mark that?
Just bypasses.
Yeah, let's go right move on.
Just blaze on passes.
As frustrating as it is, it's been a fun show. We've had a lot of fun. We're throwing out all these points. This has been good. Getting out a lot of pent-up frustration. I want to run through the list of Cowboys free agents.
Let's go.
We're going to go in order of snap count from the 2021 season. Give me a 1 through 10. 10 being they're back here in Dallas. You're going to see them on the field in 2022. 1 being they're gone. They're 100% elsewhere. Where do you feel like your predictions lie heading into free agency? Because that starts next week, and by the time we record next week, we may have a pretty good picture of how this Cowboys team is going to look, at least heading into draft weekend in April. So we're going to start with Jaron Kearse. Safety had 88% of snaps this past year. He had only $1.1 million on his deal. Where do you think he lies? Is he going to be back in Dallas, Heckma Harrison?
10.
10? Back?
10. Yeah,
I think I'm right there with you. What are you thinking, Rob?
Definitely they want him back. Again, what do the negotiations look like? Does he want to go test? That's the question.
What do you think he's going to get on an open market like that? $5 million?
It's very tough. Because of his history, it makes it complicated. Because you got one big year in a great system. And I think if I'm him, I'm like, man, I'm sticking with DQ.
Stay right through.
I would, if the money's right.
So do you feel like this is a case where the guy's more valued in where he's at right now as opposed to where his value could lie amongst the league? But with Kearse, he's a big safety. He can play, he can cover, he can tackle, he can play in the box, be over the top. There's so many different things he can do. Special teams in there too.
Dan Quinn is a nickel guy. Yeah. So, look at what he got away with by having Jaron Kearse as the big nickel. So, the way that these spread offenses are going, they're putting the ball all over the place and going with those slot corners.
Because of how dominant these tight ends are, right?
Yeah.
It's putting a lot of guys in bad positions.
O.J. Howard.
Kyle is shaking across the table.
I like getting Kyle like that.
Kyle just goes,
"Oh, you son of a bastard!"
Yeah, dude. Whenever they face O.J. Howard next year in Tampa Bay, or I guess
Who
it's
you
here,
calling a cootie queen?
My face is red.
Blaine Gabbert's going to light it up with O.J. Howard because we don't have Jalen Curse.
I've had him.
Whatever, dude.
I wonder if that's in DQ's new contract. Like, you got to bring back Curse. Okay, I'll sign, but
I'm going to give it a 6.5.
6.5.
Super confident.
6.5. Reason being is because he might get that number. As much as he may want to come back to being with DQ,
go get your money.
If you only have a small window to make money, and if a team throws it out there, you got to grab it, regardless if you want to go play for that organization or not. The money's going to talk.
I feel like that's going to be one of the answers for a lot of these guys. Maybe not for these next 4 that I'm going to throw out there, but if the money is right, is going to be a question. I think they're going to make it right for Curse. I think they're going to do what they can to get out there and re-sign him. I think they're going to make something happen. DeMonte KZ, 78% of the snaps. He was a $1.2 million hit there as well. Also at the safety position, where do you think he's going? Here? No?
No, 2.
I think I'm probably low, 3 or 4.
Yeah, I'm low on him based off of, obviously, the production. And, man, I was so excited about him to begin with. He had a solid camp.
Good camp.
Yeah, the performance wasn't there throughout the season and couldn't stay on the field. So I'm going
off the field issues, too, kind of maybe thrown in there.
Yeah, I mean, he's a DQ guy, so you got to take that into factor that in. But I would like to see a full offseason with Malik Hooker. And maybe he's the guy they try to bring back.
Okay, well, his name's on this list. We'll get down there here in a second. Connor Williams at the left guard spot.
Connor's gone.
I think a 1.
Yeah,
I don't think he's here. I think if anything, they would roll with Connor McGovern than try and re-sign him to a longer-term deal or even a prove-it deal.
He might want to change the scenery himself.
It may be best for him, honestly.
Man, you know what? Then if he's leaving there for the last time, holding on number 55. For the Dallas Cowboys.
Leighton Vander Esch?
No, my bad. I'm just trying to call
52?
52, my bad. 52. Yeah. 52. My guy, Connor, bro.
Connor
on his way out the door.
Connor hasn't left the state of Texas. Remember that.
That's right.
Yeah. Played in Texas, played in Coppell.
Connor, he's leaving.
Yep.
He's leaving, man. He's gonna somebody's going to give him some bread.
So he will be with the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Next
year.
Yeah,
you never know.
Interior line will probably be a draft.
Probably right.
Speaking of 55, since you brought him up, Leighton Vander Esch next on that list. Yeah, you were getting ahead. That's all it is.
4.
Okay, so middle of the road potential there?
Yeah.
Money-wise, basically, if it's low, then that's something there. Leighton wants to come back, right?
I think he really enjoyed playing for DQ, and they need linebackers. So I wouldn't discount it.
Thin room.
I wouldn't discount it, but I could also see him moving on too. Change of scenery. We'll see.
Okay. 3.78.
Okay. I think
their whole room's about to be brand new.
You might be right.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Except for Mike.
Probably linebacker.
That whole room. I'm talking about the
draft,
linebacker room.
Yeah, drafts.
Absolutely.
I mean,
maybe somebody in free agency.
Francis Bernard will be back. He's exclusive rights.
Dan Quinn needs guys that can run around and hit.
Jabril Cox will be coming off injury. Luke Gifford's a restricted free agent. I'm stepping on your list, Kyle.
No, you're good.
That's
fine.
down. It's
just
it's a
long list. We'll kind of run through a bunch of rapid fire names here in a second. Leighton Vander Esch, I think I'd put him at a 5. I think it's 50-50 shot he comes back because he may test that open market. He may get some money there. But if he really wants to be in Dallas, I think there's a chance that he's back. Keona Neal, probably low.
2.7.
2, okay.
Nah, I don't think so.
Nothing, okay.
Maybe DQ guy.
Same thing with KZ a little bit.
I mean, I think Jabril Cox, if he's healthy, he can compete to get more of those snaps. We'll see.
Dorrance Armstrong, edge rusher.
6.2.
Okay. What do you think, Rob?
I think he could, if he tests the market, I think he could get a nice payday somewhere.
Think so?
I put him in another guy in the same category I mentioned earlier.
I mean, he's still on that rookie deal, still a guy who played significant amount of snaps, only 25 years old.
And a guy that the organization is high on.
They really like him.
I mean, and he's kind of proven them right. So I'm going to go 7.5.
Kind of goes back to that edge rusher room, too. Kind of how you were talking about linebacker. If DeMarcus Lawrence isn't there, if Randy Gregory isn't there, Dorrance Armstrong might be one of those guys that they look at as a cheap deal. Cedric Wilson. 1.
I put him and DA in the same category. They want to keep both guys.
But,
sure.
I'll put him at a 5.
Yeah. You think it's more likely
he's
he
at
comes
a
back?
5.
I don't think he comes back. I think he gets a deal that's going to raise some eyebrows.
Maybe.
Think so?
It's a lot harder for receivers to become number one guys.
I think they're aggressive with Wilson to try and bring him back.
Okay.
Remember LeRon Robinson?
Oh, that's my dude, man.
He had a bigger year than Said did, but he got paid the next offseason after working with Tony. I don't know. I'll see what the market has.
Didn't Noah Brown just get signed another deal?
Today.
He did.
Yep.
Okay.
1 year extension.
Oh, really?
Yep. So he's off that list. He's back and ready to go.
They're bringing the band back.
Bringing the band back without 19.
Minus 19. Silly.
Michael Gallup, speaking of bringing the band back.
He'll be back.
Probably. Interesting that, I know Gallup was hurt all the way through, but just seeing the fact that Cedric had more percentage snaps than Gallup this year was interesting in my opinion. I think he's a 10. He's back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's almost.
They're working on a deal. I'm interested to see what it looks like because just with the injury.
A lot of injury clauses.
Pete Church got a new deal after his Achilles, and they bet on him and he came back strong, so that's what they're betting on, I think.
It's a good transition into Malik Hooker with Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Hooker back? Heckma?
I've already said that I believe Malik Hooker is back. So I'm going to go 8.
Yeah, I think I'm probably 7, 8 right there.
9.17.
Wow, you're very confident.
Yeah.
So you think it's Curse and Hooker on the backside of that defense?
They put him in this past year to see if he still had it. He does. Bring him back.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. This is an interesting one. Carlos Watkins played in the interior of that defensive line, was kind of your de facto nose tackle because of the lack of a true one technique on the roster outside of Quentin Bohanna. He was in that rotation with Osa Odigizua, with Neville Gallimore. Do you think he comes back on a small deal? His deal initially was 1.75. So, close to $2 million. He could probably get that again elsewhere, but
2.7.
Don't think he's back.
I don't think he's back. I think you have to give up some of your D linemen, and I think he's going to be one of the casualties.
Okay. I think it's kind of a shoulder shrug for me.
Man, I would like to bring him back.
Yeah,
honestly, he was a surprise. A guy out of Clemson, played for the Texans. You didn't know what you were going to get out of him. He came in and he was high energy, gave you some quality reps, did some good things against the run. He was everything that you needed. And if you can get him on the cheap deal, I say bring him back.
This is what we think is going to happen, right? This isn't what we want?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, predictions. But, I agree with him. I think that's their thought process. I think they want him back. They like having a veteran on that defensive line, like Watkins.
Yeah, although, you need DQ likes a deeper rotation, right? But you're thinking Osa's going to take another step.
Yep.
Maybe, can Quinn Bohanna get some more snaps? So, but I'll say yeah. I think he'll come back. I think maybe on a 1 year deal again.
I think it's for 1 or 2 year deal. They don't really have the liberties to kind of kick it down the road with guys. He's going to be 30 this next season.
I don't think they're going to want to restrict the growth of their young guys.
Yeah. I think it's a temporary deal if they're going to do it. Randy Gregory, is he back with the Dallas Cowboys? Can they afford to bring him back? That's probably a big question.
7.8.
So you thinking, how do they do that? D-Law done?
D-Law's gone.
Then Randy's back in the fold?
Yep.
Okay. Probably a cheaper deal, loyalty bonus, maybe.
I don't think it's going to give a loyalty bonus.
This is his one shot to get paid.
It is.
Because he's 29.
Yeah.
And he's never gotten really a big deal.
I think he just turned 30, too. Yeah.
He just turned 30?
Yeah, I think just
It's
recently.
crazy because he had – how many games has he played?
Not a lot.
I think he's back because I think ultimately the structure in place or everything he's been through here, I think so. But the money's got to be right. He's not just going to take nothing to come back.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Based off of his production and what he did this year, I think he let everyone know that he has a whole lot to offer a team. And if you feel like other teams are going to cherry pick guys off of our roster, why wouldn't they look at Randy Gregory the same way?
Yeah, but you got to pay him $10 million. He has to get 10.
At least
10.
Goodness.
And if there's another team out there willing to pay more, because there are rumored to be teams, obviously, that would be in the hunt for him that would pay him more on a 1 year deal. And so the loyalty is not going to be there.
Loyalty bonus.
No, loyalty bonus, he's not going to let you
What you say, not check?
No, it's not. Not for that signing bonus that he's going to want, no.
This is as interesting a guy on the list as anybody.
I think so, too. It's back and forth, and it's one of those things where if the money is right, if he's valued elsewhere, I don't know if he's going to get that same kind of thought process around the league as he does here.
Really?
Just based off of what Rob said. I mean, he hasn't played a whole lot in the grand scheme of his career. He's 30 years old, and how many games has he played? 35 games?
Yeah, they just don't. They just don't make guys like him, though. You know,
You're right.
You look around, they just don't make.
I'm not devaluing him myself.
No, for sure. I'm just talking about body
maybe.
type, and I'm talking about his abilities and like the impact. Like that's a guy you better circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like as you think about defensive ends, like you circle him.
And there should be a ton of tread on the tires.
Yes.
For him. I mean,
wear and tear is low.
Yeah, absolutely. So at this point, I'm just thinking about the roster in general. Who do we have? Chauncey Golston,
Basham's under contract.
You know, I mean, so with that list and that rotation, even as we talk about Carlos Watkins, we have to understand, like, DQ has a hell of a rotation that he plays with, and all of those guys are rotational guys. So, I mean, I would love to bring Randy back, but I think it's always going to be at the right price, and it's going to be, you know, at the right price. That's it.
Yeah. 36 games over the last 3 years, 50 games over his career, only 12 starts. So, and 11 of those came in 2021.
That's just an interesting case, man.
6 sacks.
That's an interesting case because, like you said, Rob, guys typically get paid off of their past performance. You don't really you just have a sample size with him to go off of.
No, but if you're a team looking for a pass rush, you turn on the tape of like the Pats game and you're like, holy crap. I mean, that guy, he wrecked the game. Turned the game around for him. So it's a
did it against Washington. He's got the tape. The tape is there. The player, the frame, the potential, all of that is there, but whether or not teams are willing to take a risk on him moving into their offseason, Dallas, I think, would say, come on back. We'll give you $7-8 million. They're probably not going to hit that $10 million mark here.
They're going to have to.
That's what I'm saying. Here, I don't think so. I think he could get that elsewhere.
You don't think Dallas is going to find $10 million for him? I think they have to. If D-Law leaves, they have to find
$10 million seems like a steep number, especially when you're thinking about having to pay a draft class.
I hear you, but if D-Law leaves, which I can't see him coming back, you have to bring back Gregory.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And it has to be at that number.
Oh, man. Brian Anger, punter.
Oh, heck yeah.
Bringing him back?
Heck yeah. That's my dog.
Okay.
BA?
Okay.
Nobody's arguing that. RUP?
Not that they want to. I don't know what do punters make? I don't know.
He made 1.1 this past year.
And he's an all-pro.
34, and he's an all-pro.
Well, punters can punt till they're
Double
60. Yeah.
Double that.
Yeah. So
I'll say yes, but it's the money again. Money's got to be right.
What can they afford? Jeremy Sprinkle.
Oh, he
gone.
Yeah, he gone.
Gone. Okay. Brent Urban.
He gone.
Man, I want Brent Urban
I
back.
want him back.
too.
I
Yeah.
want him. I changed my stance.
Bring him back cheap.
I give him 5.5. Give me 5.5. Just because he got hurt.
5.5 is your.
5.5 is
That's
nice.
not the contract. That is your confidence
That's
level.
my confidence level because I think that they want him back. I think that they need him back in terms of his presence, in terms of his veteran presence, in terms of his size, and I think that he has unfinished business because of his injury from last year.
I agree.
And you talked about him last year, how the running game kind of fell off. Yes. The defense fell off after he went out. He was a big part of that, taking on double teams. He just does a lot of things that doesn't make the stat sheet. So you need players like that. Can Bohanna take that step as we think right now? Maybe not, but it would be good to have an insurance policy behind
For sure.
him.
Urban, I'm sure he probably likes being here more though than in Chicago. When he was talking about coming here, that was one of his favorite things. Maybe he's back, and he was in that rotation with Carlos Watkins at the same time, and I feel like those two guys coming back would be a positive.
5.5.
5.5.
Not at that number.
Ty Nsekhe back? No.
He's back.
Back?
Yes.
Cheap deal? Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Malik Turner. I think he's gone.
Wait a minute. Let's talk value here on Turner. Because he came in and he showed you some value on special teams. You talked about what he did on special teams and also as a receiver. So come on now. I mean, he's a utility player that you need.
You want him back.
All right, come on.
12 receptions, 150 yards.
3 or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, three touchdowns. And then let me give you his.
So he's 25% touchdowns.
Yeah.
Killing it.
It's legit.
Killing it.
10.3% of offensive snaps. So that's not including his special teams.
Malik's a dog. I told y'all as soon as they signed him, I said that dude's a dog. Yeah, he was going to make a big impact. I think that they need to bring him back, not only from the special teams perspective, but in terms of cheap depth. I think that's somebody that you need to bring back. I don't see another team giving him a big payday, and I think he feels valued. A big portion of when you're in that type of position, you want to feel valued, and I think he feels that here.
Can I just roll back to punter real quick?
Yeah.
Highest paid punter, Johnny Hecker.
Hecker?
3.8.
Woo!
No. So, if Brian Anger's looking for $4 million a year, I don't know.
No.
Is that what he would be looking for?
I don't know that. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm saying he was a second team All Pro, whatever. Like
they're going to have to give him $2 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Rapid fire on these last 5. Corey Clement.
1.
Yeah, 1 there, 2 for me. Maurice Kennedy.
No can.
2.
Yeah, low.
Yeah.
Luke Gifford.
That's your guy.
Rob.
Yeah.
Bring him back.
Guy, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's true. These last 3 guys are restricted or exclusive rights. Gifford. Yeah. Francis Bernard probably just for depth. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to blow right through
nobody can even compete with
anything.
Him. So yeah, he'll be.
Mitch Hyatt.
Well, he's been. He's been here for like 10 years, and
feels like
he's dealt with a lot to He's
only 25.
Yeah,
but he's feels like he's been around for 25 years.
And
He was
by the way,
first 15-year-old draftee.
about Brent Urban, I remember this. He tweeted out the day after the season was over, "Dallas, I love you, and I love this team. Made all of the downs this year much easier to deal with. I have a lot to prove in 2019." And he did the recycle emoji. So I think he likes it here. He likes Quinn, likes Dallas. So you may get him on
You heard it here first.
Hometown discount, hopefully.
Chris Beam.
He tweeted that, not me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You heard that from
17-22.
Heard it here first. Chris Beam with the breaking news. No, that's it for us here on Talkin Cowboys. Hometown discount for Brent Urban. He's back, baby. Nope. Dalton Schultz tagged. Noah Brown signing a 1-year extension. That's about what we've got right now. But when we come back next week, we will be right in the thick of things of free agency. And we're going to have a lot more fights when we come back. O.G. Howard is not better than Dalton Schultz. For Chris Beam, for Rob Phillips, for Isaiah Stanback, Heckma Harrison, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Isaiah and Heckma are out of their minds. We'll see you next week on Talkin Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?